What's up, gang? How's everybody doing today? I got my boy here, my homeboy Jamie Knott, chef owner of Saddle River Inn and Saddle River Cafe. Um, Jamie's number three. You are number three today on the list after some uh, esteemed guests on the show. We had my mom and my buddy's childhood father, my buddy, his dad Ed Wallace. Jamie and I have had the pleasure to get to know each other, I would say, over the last 5 to 6 years. We have a joke going that the awards keep flying. He's way outclassed me now over the last few years, but he's showing up in magazines here and, on the internet there. So Jamie, very nice to have you this morning. Thanks for getting all dolled up and making me look like an idiot today with a hat and a sweatshirt on. But thanks for coming on today. My homage to you, and I think where we start is the sort of business owner that you are. Jamie obviously runs and I forgot to mention Cellar down in Jersey City. So I
didn't want to cut you off, but thank you for mentioning that.
I apologize about that. I only, in 2020 with COVID, I only really travel within a 4-mile distance of my house. So I haven't been able to get down there in a while, but Jamie is the owner of 3 wildly successful businesses. But the thing that I love about this guy, and I think the thing that's connected us the most, is the sort of lunch pail approach he brings. Gets a ton of accolades, obviously is a wonderful chef, but just brings a lunch pail attitude to work every day. And I think that's where we kind of connected. And so Jamie, I guess, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about the journey. You have a unique story, and I'm super pumped to have you on today. So why don't we start there?
First of all, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Secondly, there's no way I have more accolades than you do. I mean, we can count off air if you'd like. I don't consider 200-word internet pieces accolades, but that's something to be decided at a later date. And as far as getting dialed up, I mean, it's just the way I dress every day. It's not, it's nothing new and it's nothing special. The only thing new with my look is the beard, and I will fetch for a compliment at some point today. So you're gonna have to tell me how it looks.
Bro, you're starting to, when you get the light on, like right in here, my daughter now makes fun of me because I got a lamb chop within the beard right here. That's all white.
That's a silver lamb chop.
The silver lamb chop. You should have something on the menu at some point. Coin it the silver lamb chop.
Just DM in parentheses, Where do you want to start? There's, from a young man in Baltimore, I mean, this would be a lot longer than a 20-minute conversation, bro. So
I guess my first question to you embarked on this journey, and your story is not, went to the Culinary Institute, like just step over step. Like there's this attitude that you bring, whether it's Cellar, whether it's the inn, whether it's the cafe. We'll get into a little bit later,
okay.
But like even the vision that you bring in a traditionally, the other guys in the restaurant world that I know, it's not a short-sightedness, but it's like almost like we got to do this today, and there's no like foresight into the future. And it's one of the things I admire about you, because the things that you're doing right now, and probably, I don't know in your career, but in the culinary world, people are hurting. People are hurting big time right now. And from the conversation that we had the other day, the restaurant world as we know it here in North Jersey probably ain't going to be looking like it does 3 months from now, like it does today. So
right.
What gave you that foresight, I get, to not only be a visionary when it comes to being a good chef, but like that business side too? Because it's very rare that I see both sides of it. There's usually, many different people in a business.
Right. Understood. I think it comes a little bit from my upbringing. I hate to say that I'm a street kid, but, I kind of grew up on the railroad tracks, like fending for myself. And, that gave me a true understanding of what hard work really is. And I just show up every day. If I played basketball, I would shoot 1,000 shots a day. I happen to be a cook. So I cook every day, and I taste my food and I care about the guys around me. And I want to surround myself with greatness constantly. And I try and read and fill my head with positivity and hug my kids every day and tell my wife I love her every day. And just really simple, solid, foundational things that keep me grounded and keep me on the right path. As you said, I do have an interesting story, and it weaves in and out, up and down and all over the place. And my path is not traditional. I fell in love with the culinary arts when I was in 10th grade, probably. Excuse me. I had a home ec with Miss Pote. I started as a freshman and I took it every year. The first reason was we got to eat. The second reason was there were a lot of girls in the class.
How do you think I
You know,
met Samantha, dude? She got like the home ec
although
award.
I only had my eye on one girl always and forever, and that's my wife. And I can't give her enough credit because she's stuck by my side and been that constant that I really needed. And the thing that really made me gravitate towards the restaurant business was when I was 13. I was working at the Franklin Steakhouse in Nutley as a busboy, and the excitement every day, the guys getting ready for dinner service, the build up, you know, the the boys in the back making fun of each other and slapping each other with towels and locking each other in the walk-in. Like, to me, that was almost a sports team rivalry or camaraderie, and it was enticing, man. And the energy every single day, and then you walk out with some cash in your pocket, so that was never a bad thing either.
Yeah.
But those are the kind of things that drew me towards it. And I always credit my mom and my grandmother. There was a lot of kids at my grandmother's house always. I had a ton of cousins growing up, and she was always cooking because kids like to eat and they need to eat. So that sort of sense of family and community really was ingrained in who I am from a young age. And I guess I gravitated towards that as I got older, subconsciously or unknowingly. There was somebody pulling me into the kitchen, to have that sense of community and family and growth and opportunity. And thank God I have a small talent that I try to exploit on a day-to-day basis. I found something I'm decent at, because there were points in my life where, people were like, where's this kid headed? Because it's nowhere good,
You know what, though? The best stories, similar to, similar or dissimilar to what you're talking about, having that. Well, first of all, thank God for Miss Pote and Krista for sticking by you. Behind every good man is amazing women. I share that immensely. But having the wherewithal and that like camaraderie, I think it transcends into what you're doing now with the staff. Every time you go, this was a conversation that we were having the other day. Every time you go to the inn, it's an experience. Every time you go to the cafe, it's an experience. Been down to Cellar a few times. It is an experience, and I think one of the things that most caught me the other day with regards to not having it be about money, or, money's great. Obviously, that's why we all work, but to let the small things go, and to have that experience where you truly understand that your customers and like on my side, our clients, will need to share that experience and will want that experience. And they're trying to find this, not escape, but be transported into another place. And I think that, like, the thing that I think I most love, other than obviously your small talent with the food that you make at the inn, is you go there. Like, my favorite time of the year is like late October. You feel like you travel 15 minutes from my house and you feel like you're in Vermont. that experience, and everybody that goes there for the first time, you love taking people there for the first time. And obviously this year it's been a little bit different having to be
Right.
outside, but that ambiance of the courtyard and the people, and it just makes it really unique. And I think that whether you're talking about cellar or the inn or even the cafe on like a smaller scale, it's an experience. And I think you have a knack for bringing that to people, and that's what, obviously the cooking's fantastic. um your small talent.
Well, much like yourself, we pay attention to the details,
Yeah,
and those little details add up into a whole experience, right? And I think, caring about those details is super important, and caring about the people. You touched upon, like, the other day we were talking about it,
that's it.
and what makes the experience. The people make the experience. Yes, the ambiance, tremendous. We have great designs, and I'm a lucky guy. We're in a barn that was built in 1791. The beams are all hand hewn, and it's just a special place. But over at the cafe, we're in a strip mall. But our designer Lauren DeGenova did such a good job to.
Uh-oh, man down. Kid in the room. There we
I'm
go.
back.
He's back.
I'm back, baby. You can't take me out with another call. But like you said, our design over at the cafe transcends you. When I had my first meeting with Lauren from LRD Designs, she's like, "Well, what do you think this looks like?" And I said, "Picture Jesus walking through the desert, make it look like a place he would love to stumble upon and have brunch at." She's like, "I got it."
I got
I mean,
you.
yeah, who else would even, talk to me after a conversation like that or after a statement like that? But she nailed it. And then you fill it with people. The people are what make the experience. You surround yourself with people who make you better, people who play to your weaknesses. That was very hard for me to do, like as a young manager or a sous chef, because if anybody was better than me, then I wasn't good enough. Once you step outside yourself and you realize that as a whole unit, you all make one another better, that's where the experience comes in,
Well,
and that's the difference to me.
I, there's so many similarities when you can finally, like something you just said. um I feel like we're cut from the same cloth in that respect, being competitive, being just being a competitor, I guess. Having that innately in you, I think, is as a young man, like in my 20s, it was me or you. There was no, like coming up in when I came up in the agency world in Manhattan, it wasn't like we were a team, but there was like it was either me stepping on you or you stepping on me. That's how it was going to go down. And something you just said, when you can finally get out of yourself and understand and really put into context as you mature a little bit,
Right.
the team, to be able to impart those lessons, once you see that it doesn't have to be that way, that it can be everybody together, and your job as the leader of an organization is to make people better. Once you can get beyond that and not have to be like, I need this, I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep going. There's still that drive, but
Right.
knowing how to temper that, I think is a great is a key component to any good leader, I guess. What this is really cool to be able to do. What makes Jamie Knott tick? Why is it that you have this small talent and that you've been able to do, some of the conversations that we have are about like what's going to happen 4 years down the road. Right now, we don't even know what's going to happen 4 minutes right now. Like the world is so
I think
crazy.
I think 4 minutes we have under control. I feel like we're in a safe space right now, but 4 weeks, 4 months,
Yeah,
God,
but we've had those conversations before where you're like,
it's
I'm
true.
looking ahead, I'm doing this, I'm trying to see, like you're always trying to see what's next. I don't again, I don't get that sense. I know a lot of guys. I'm buddies with a lot of guys that own restaurants around
Right.
here. Knows I like to eat. But what makes you tick? Why is it always like that? Is it that street sense that came with you as being a kid? It's like
Uh,
never. Is it the competitive nature of being an athlete that was like, I got to keep going. I got to keep going. Or is it, well, let's navigate this course and see what's next. Where can I be? How can I do this? Does it have to be here? Can I do other things? I think that's
I think
interesting to
it's
you and unique.
right. I think it's all of those things that add up to be, part of the solution or the foresight. I don't know how deep you want me to get, but there's something inside me that's always looking for more. And, for a big part of my life, from my early adolescence, I found that in drugs and alcohol, and then up through my middle teen years into my early 20s, I finally got sober and clean when I was 27. And, I took that same competitive nature in the wrong direction. I finally found a way, and I found a program, and I found a sense of self that allowed me to become, you know, the man I wanted to be, and the father that my kids were proud of, and the husband that my wife could rely on, and the son that my mom and dad were like, yes, that's that guy. That's the person who's been inside you all the time, afraid to come out or hiding or chasing something else. And with that's something that I really can't understand or harness. It's always been inside me, but now I just learned how to just turn it a little bit and go that way, and it's inexplicable and it's unexplainable, and it's really just this inner drive and desire to want to be better and want people around me to be better and do better. And I find myself becoming more of that person on a daily basis, where leading by example truly does pay dividends,
Ah,
spiritually, literally, figuratively, all of it. And I want to be the best cook in the kitchen every day, and I want to be the fastest guy. And I might not be anymore. I'm still a pretty damn good cook, but my sous chef Thomas is faster than me now. And me even saying that out loud, it pains me, but it also helps me realize that this is where I'm supposed to be, and this is the path I'm supposed to be on,
and you're
you know?
making somebody better. You're taking somebody like that. Like I just said, when you can get over the fact that somebody does something better than you, and you're kind of like I'm going through the same thing right now at 43.
I didn't say better.
No, I
Ease
didn't. No,
up,
no.
Barry.
Okay,
Ease
faster,
up, bud.
faster, faster.
You're gonna
Okay,
bring out
but
the wrong side. No, I'm
hold
kidding.
on. Okay, so Thomas,
No, I'm kidding.
Thomas, you still got a ways to go, bro, to catch this guy. But in the same way, for me, with simple things like love to work out, dude. I used to be able to run a 20-minute 5K. Dude, I couldn't even touch that anymore with a 10-foot pole. And knowing how to temper yourself and channeling that, if anybody who's watching this, there's been articles that the local press has done about Jamie and his journey with getting sober and things like that. Like, I appreciate you bringing that on here, because this, for me, this project is about vulnerability. It's about giving back. It's about bringing people that have been a part of my life, um, from my mom to Ed to you, and there's going to be other people in different phases of my life. But being able to take somebody that is younger, less experienced, and not as good as you, and to like Obi-Wan Kenobi them into like Luke Skywalker,
Right.
um, that becomes, I don't know how you feel about it right now. Like I still have that competitive nature too,
Right.
but I'm okay with it, because I know that at some point, I kind of preface this to all the people that I kind of work with and mentor and things like that. I'm like, the only thing I ask is that at some point, someday, you do this for somebody else. Because if that gets locked up and you're selfish with it, everything that I did and that you're doing for people went for naught. Like,
Right.
the whole point is to pay it forward. And
100%.
that is I guess the consummate lesson for me. That's like, that's super important. And it drives me now. Like, that's like, it's okay that I can't, it pains me to say it in the same way. Pains me that I can't run a 5K in 20 minutes anymore. But if you line me up in a 5K and there's kids in front of me and we're in a narrow cul-de-sac, those kids better watch out because I'm throwing them over a fire hydrant. They won't be harmed. I'll place them nicely, but you better get out of my way.
A gentle toss.
A gentle toss, a gentle nudge.
I totally understand it. And, you know, the real reward is seeing these people that you taught a new skill or brought up next to you. You know, it doesn't even have to be a set of skills that are implemented inside the restaurant or the kitchen. You can see them make a decision or get excited to tell you a story like, Chef, I went and did the soup kitchen last Sunday when we were off, and I got to tell you, it was an out-of-body experience. It was so rewarding on another level.
Yep.
You know, if you can get past those soft skills and teach them those life lessons on another level, dude, the reward, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, because when you see people become better, they pay it forward automatically.
Yep.
You know, and I try and tell my guys this. It's an interesting concept, but when we have team meetings, you know, with the servers, runners, bussers, and they want to bring up these small instances like, you know, so-and-so was upset because we didn't give her a free dessert for her birthday. And I'll
Jamie's blowing up again.
No, I have a call after this at 12 o'clock. No, at 11 o'clock, sorry. But where was I? Oh,
you're having team meetings.
I'll say, yeah, and it's very simple concept. It's, guys, we come here to cook and serve and transcend hospitality. They come here to eat and enjoy and experience. It's a synergistic relationship. And we already won because they're here.
Yep.
Do you know how many other places they could have went to? Do you know how many other restaurants they could have chose in a 20-mile radius? Think about that.
Yep.
You know, really take that in for a second and appreciate that. And then tell me next time when so-and-so ordered a medium rare steak, but you really wanted it medium, that you're going to get upset and take it personally. It's a simple solution. Bring it back. Let me cook it to medium. Change the plate, change the garnish, resauce it, send it out with a smile.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
All those different touches every time, when you do it in a positive way, changes the outcome.
Yep.
It changes the outcome. Otherwise, at the end of the day, I'm sitting there and I go back over, you know, the things I could have done differently and things I could have done better, which is, you know, part of the obsessive nature also.
Mm-hmm.
I could have an amazing dinner service on a Saturday night. We could feed 130 guests. It'll go off without a hitch. Nobody will know anything, but I'll know that I left the bronzino on the skin side 30 seconds too long, and I'll beat myself up over it on the drive home. You know, I'm becoming better at it, but those are the competitive edges that you were talking about earlier. Those are the things that are going to make you do it better every time, because you don't allow yourself to miss the details and miss the small stuff. You know, because the small stuff becomes big stuff.
The small stuff becomes big stuff, but on the other side of it, transcending those lessons to, like you were saying about when somebody on the staff, like I'm at a place now where some of my staff, well, they're beyond getting married. They're having kids now. People that don't even work at the agency anymore. We're approaching our 14th year, and, you know, people having kids and, you know, sharing pictures. And, you know, this young lady who used to work for us years ago, she just got married, had their first child, sent pictures last weekend of their son. They're, you know, we're soccer fans. I'm a Liverpool guy. They're Arsenal fans. And, you know, sent a picture of Theo, their son, who's like 3-4 months now in an Arsenal jersey. Like, those are the things that are amazing. And those are the things that are now like making me happy. You know, seeing those, like transcending those out of a work context, like taking those lessons. Yeah. But then what you said, going to a soup kitchen for me, like, you know, I did this for somebody, or I thought about you when I made this decision it was a life decision, just because you told me how to do it this way, or I thought about, you were in my head saying this, and I was like, yes, like that's it.
That's
That
it.
is it. And that to me is why you are unique in what you do and how you do it. Like that small skill, you're not just a chef. Like you're creating an experience, you're doing something that a lot of people don't in your industry. And that's why I wanted to have you on here today. Very simply, my thank you to you, my homage to you, is to keep that small skill that you have. Keep going with that. Keep progressing. You do that good.
I mean, it might be here now,
All right, we'll call it here. How about that?
All
We'll
right.
call it here.
I'll allow it.
All right. Keep going with that, but keep doing all the things that you're doing with your staff, with being having the foresight to think ahead in your business. All the accolades and the awards that you have, they're so well deserved. But the small things that you're doing, keep doing that, because those are the things that keep people coming back. We're getting close to the end here, and I'll let you give give a little speech of what you want to say, but I'm going to end my part here with a story that I don't even know if you remember, but the first night well, you probably remember because you were probably like, oh my gosh, the first night that the cafe opened, we were one of the first people in there, and my 4-year-old daughter on the banquette seat decided to do a backflip off the banquette
Oh my
onto the
God.
floor,
Yes.
and Tessa was crying. So your staff, again, first night, first customer, like, oh my God, did this just really happen on the first night, the first customer? This family comes in and decides to have their 4-year-old do a backflip off the banquette. Not only did the staff come over and make sure that she was fine, she's okay, but you came out of the kitchen and sat down with her and was like, making sure that Tessa was okay. Those are the little things that make you, and those little things, whether it's with your staff, whether it's with the community in North Jersey, with me, that's why I'm honored to have you on here. And I wish you nothing but the best. I know luck has nothing to do with it, because you continue to grow and you continue to do things. But what I will tell you is this episode is an homage to you, because those things, sometimes in my head, I get away from those things that got me there, those things that you and I grew up with, because owning your own business is stressful. And I think back a lot to you and how you're doing things and the kind of running jokes that we have. And so I'm honored to know you. I'm thankful to have you as a friend, call you a brother. I know we joke a lot, but what you're doing, it's not a mistake. It's not a mistake, the success you have. And it's a real honor to know you and to call you a friend and a brother. So I'll end my part there. Give the people a little bit of what to look forward to from what you're doing, and I'll let you get on with the rest of your day, you handsome bloke.
Well, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for inviting me on. Thank you for allowing me to talk a little bit and understand more about myself, because, sometimes when you hear yourself speak, you learn something about yourself. You let it out a little bit, and, you're an open, honest guy, and it's always helpful to speak and surround yourself with people like that, because it allows you to be more vulnerable, and that's not always easy for a guy. It's all about macho bravado and, all those things we learned growing up, kick rocks, kid, cry on your own time, rub some dirt in it, all that stuff, which is good. And it keeps you gritty and grimy and pushing. But, the true character of somebody is, what do they do when nobody's around? What do they do when nobody's watching? Who do they take care of, even if they don't need it? And for me, it's all about the people, the interactions, the everyday life, learning how to become more of who you are and what you want to be. And that's kind of the long and short of it for me. The food is the food and it always comes first, in the business, but everything else is just as important, and taking care of the ones around you. The more you take care of the people around you, the more they take care of you. They want to make you proud on a daily basis. And that's something that I take to heart and I take real pride in. And I'm blessed, dude. I really am. I have people like you in my life asking me to do an interview. I slept in the hospital 40 times between 1999 and 2004, because I didn't know where else to go. It's a scary thing, man. And to be on here, talking about businesses and family and life and love and struggle and strife, I'm blessed, bro. I get up every day, take a shower, say a prayer, listen to some music, and keep perspective. That's what 2020 has been for me. It's been all about perspective and, focusing on the positive and trying to instill that in everybody around me and keeping positive and keep smiling and keep moving forward because, this is a grain of sand in the hourglass of time. We're going to talk about a year and 3 months. Hopefully we both live to be 90. I can run a 5K with you one day when I think I can beat you when you're around 75 years old, but all kidding aside, I did want to mention one thing that we touched on the other day is that, we made a decision to close the cafe for the winter for a few reasons. One, after the tent came down, we have 12 seats inside that we can serve at 25%. And that it really isn't viable. And instead of bleeding out slowly, we said, let's save the resources we have and put it into something bigger and better. And, with the help of our landlord, we're building an outdoor dining pavilion. It's going to be another 1,600 square feet, with planted pergolas and heat coming from all the bases and a fire pit inside of a lounge. We're adding another 50 seats, and it's moving forward and giving people the opportunity to eat outside because, I don't think masks are going away anytime soon, my man, and we have an older clientele in and around Upper Bergen County. And I think, 2022 is when you'll see people's faces again, not just like this, but side by side, not afraid to give somebody you love a hug, which, I hate to say that's been the hardest thing I've dealt with, but I'm a hugger, bro.
Me too.
And it means a lot. It makes people feel good. And it's such a small act of kindness that just goes such a long way.
Yep.
So that's my 2 cents, bro. And I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure and an honor. And I like to keep this thing going, man. This little behind the scenes competition that we have, it makes us better men.
I ain't going anywhere. I ain't going anywhere, bro.
Come at me, dog.
I ain't going anywhere, bro. No, it's honestly, to everybody, just to wrap it up here with a nice bow. Anybody look up Jamie Knott, go on Google, check this guy out. You'll see a story. You'll see tons of awards, but you'll also see a story that is unique, is gritty, it's what I love about the guy. That's what I love about you. But keep in perspective. Keep doing what you're doing and just keep working hard, because what you're doing and how you're doing it, not only in your businesses, but with your family, just keep being you. And I'm thankful to have you in my life, and very much appreciate you. And to all the viewers out here watching, all 12 of you, just check Jamie out, because the stories.
How many of those 12 people's checks do you sign, by the way? 9?
About I was gonna say 10, but yeah, we'll keep it at 9. No, it's really awesome to have you. I hope you have.
Mine.
Probably won't see you before Christmas, so stay out of trouble. Safety third, my man. And
I'll do best, bro.
And
I'll do my best.
Thank you again for coming on, and we're looking forward to hearing and seeing the next chapters in the book of Jamie Knott. So keep rolling, bro. We love you.
Me too, man. Me
All
too.
right.
Love
All
you
right,
too,
pal.
bro. Be well. Merry Christmas.
All right.
Peace,
Thanks,
bro.
dude. Stay out of trouble.
Later, man.
Bye.